honey bunny. You read my mind. I have my own Santa Claus, or my own fan guy. I'll tell you a story someday about that, but not today. Would you breathe with me, please? Take it in and let it go. And another in. Release. And one more deep breath in. Thank you. There's something very special about breathing together. I know it sounds odd, but really not. So as most of you know, I'm from the States, and this is the first time in my life I have not spent American Thanksgiving with my family. And it's okay, because I saw them just a couple of weeks ago at my niece's wedding, and I'm going to see them again at Christmas. So, you know, it wasn't that big of a tragedy, but I have to admit it was a little bit weird to go about business as usual on the fourth Thursday of November, when it has been drilled into my head for 60 years that that's Thanksgiving. So all that day, I was like, oh, I can't call so-and-so because it's Thanksgiving. No, I can't go to the bank because they won't be open because it's Thanksgiving, until I finally realized that here in Canada, it was just Thursday. So even though we celebrated Thanksgiving in October, and I celebrated good, I had 3 different Thanksgiving meals. Oh my goodness, lots to be grateful for. But I'm going to ask your indulgence, because talking about gratitude at this time of the year is one of my favorite things to do. So is it okay with you guys if we talk about gratitude? I thought so, because regardless of when you eat turkey, gratitude is this amazing, this life-changing, this sanity-saving spiritual practice, especially as we're going into the busyness of the holidays, as Leslie's treatment spoke about. Because even though we're coming up on the holiday of love and joy and peace, it's kind of easy to get ourselves stressed out at this time of year. Am I right? You agree with me? Yeah. The crowds, the pressure to spend beyond our means and our needs in that case, the traffic, the expectation of being joyful even if we're not feeling joyful. There's the family pressures, there's the cold weather, although apparently not. Is this the most glorious week ever? I know, it's fabulous. But if we're not very careful, if we're not very conscious of what we're doing, we can enter into the season of joy with a less than joyful frame of mind. However, if we can remember to stay in gratitude, stay knowing that there's so much to be grateful for, in spite of all the busyness that's going around, it has an almost magical effect. Because when we are in gratitude, what happens is that because we're different, our energy is different, our mental atmosphere, as Ernest Holmes would call it, is different, then the things around us change as if by magic. And I'm going to prove it to you in just a moment or so. So there is a famous Bible phrase, in all things give thanks. It's from Thessalonians. You know, I had to look that up, right? Because I'm not a Bible expert. In all things, give thanks. Not just when things are going well. Not because Oprah told us to keep a gratitude journal. Not because it happens to be a national holiday somewhere, somehow. But because when we dwell in the arena of giving thanks authentically, looking for the good, turning our attention to those things that are working, what happens is it shifts how we see life, which in turn changes our life experience. Is this making sense to you? Yeah. It can't help but do that. And the reason is because of what we put our focus on expands. That's Metaphysics 101. What I put my focus on expands, and it goes both ways, doesn't it? It absolutely does. So I'm going to give you an example, personal example. If you are a Facebook person, you've heard this story, so forgive me, but it's my story, so what can I say? So, I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself on Thursday. That's the truth. American Thanksgiving, not with my family, no turkey dinner. I went to a movie and ate buttered popcorn instead. Probably the same amount of calories, but you know, what can I say? Mostly I'm fine with it. Mostly I'm okay with it, but I was feeling a little bit out of sorts. And I had not been practicing what I am preaching to you right now, because you know, sometimes my talks are for you, and oftentimes my talks are for me, and you guys just get to listen in, so this one is for me. Yeah. So I've been really busy. I've been really busy, and I've been stressful. I've been really stressed, and I've let it get the better of me, and I was grumpy. Poor Ethel. I was grumpy. And I was tired, and I was experiencing overwhelm. So for my Thanksgiving gift to myself, I decided that I would allow myself to sleep in until I woke up. And then I would spend the day doing whatever I wanted. I was going to stay in my jammies for as long as I wanted. I was maybe going to go to a movie. Oh, I did go to a movie, but I was not going to do work. I wasn't going to have anything stressful, nothing. So here I am, I'm sound asleep. So and I was awakened by the unmistakable and unpleasant sound of a cat throwing up. Now, if you have a cat, you know exactly the sound I'm talking about. So I bolted out of bed to make sure that the activity was not taking place on my bed. It wasn't, thank you God. But by that time, I was already up. Earlier than I had wanted to get up, but I was still already up, but I was still grumpy, and I was tired, and I was a little bit homesick. So I got Annie up, and I got her all bundled up. You know, you can't just go outside in the winter. You gotta do stuff, you know? And so I got all bundled up, and we went outside into the most glorious sunrise I had ever seen. You know which one I'm talking about, right? Not only it was glowing in the east still, but the clouds to the west had been lit up, and it was this spectacular combination of orangey, pinky, yellowy, everything with the blue sky. It literally took my breath away. I went, oh. It was incredible, and it was then that I realized that I was at choice as to how I was going to enter into my day of thanks. I could be grouchy because I'd been awakened by cat yak, or I could be grateful because the cat yakking allowed me to witness the spectacular sight. Do you understand what I'm talking about? In all things, give thanks. In all things, give thanks. Because that is one of the secrets of living a thankful life, is choosing to live a thankful life. Choosing to look at what's right instead of what's wrong. Choosing to focus on what we have to be grateful for rather than what might be messed up in our lives. Gratitude is always, always, always a choice. Where our thoughts go, what we focus on, what we think about, is a choice. Because the truth is, in this moment, right here, right now, for every one of us here, I am willing to bet that there is more going right in your life than is going wrong. I'm seeing heads going up and down like that. There is more to be grateful for than there is to be concerned about. So we're going to do a little experiment right now. Bear with me. You guys indulging me today? Thank you. Okay. It'll be a little bit different than what we normally do on Sundays. So our newcomers, I don't usually make you work so much on Sundays, but I'm going to make you work. So I'd like you to close your eyes for a minute. I'd like you to think about something that is concerning you. Something that is causing you upset. We're not going to dwell on it, I promise you. But for just a moment, I'd like you to think about something that is concerning. Now feel the energy in the room. It shifted. Okay, now put that to the side. And I want you to think now of something you are grateful for. Now find something else to be grateful for. Now find something else to be grateful for. And now open your eyes, turn to somebody and say to them, I am grateful for, and tell them. Can you feel the energy now? Isn't that incredible? It went from, to this, laughter and hugging and tears. This is what I'm talking about. There is joy and appreciation in the room. Gratitude is a tangible thing. It is possible to change any situation, any feeling, any experience by choosing to be grateful for something. Because, as Dr. Tom Costa put it, it is not possible to be grateful and unhappy at the same time. This was my sister Peggy when I was born on Christmas Eve. No, I'm just kidding. Science is telling us that our mind processes something like 60,000 thoughts in a day, but it can only think one thought at a time. So, what are you thinking right now? Yes, you betcha.
Stampeders win the Grey Cup.
So another really important point that I want to talk about gratitude is that it is causative. Eric Butterworth tells us how does that. Gratitude is causative. What I mean by that is the very act of feeling grateful causes more things in our lives to be grateful for. Life is a reflection of what we think about and what we believe. So when we are choosing and focusing on gratitude as a spiritual practice, that's also what we are attracting to us. Is this making sense? What we are sending out is what we are attracting back to us. You notice how the energy in the room changed when we shared things we are grateful for. Gratitude causes things to change. It's magical. Just being grateful brings more stuff in. And subsequently, that same energy returns and returns and returns. I love Plato, who said a grateful mind is a great mind, which eventually attracts to itself great things. I'm going to say that again because it's good. A grateful mind is a great mind, which eventually attracts to itself great things. What I also know about gratitude is that it is healing. It is healing. I know that some of you have come here today and you're hurting. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. And because of the energy that we have created in this room, both the pre-service and the music and the spiritual things that we did, plus the fact that we shared our gratitude together, I would be willing to bet that if you came in here hurting today, you have experienced some sort of a healing. Because for just those few moments, you were able to think about something other than the hurt. So now the question is, will you choose to go back to the other way of thinking? Or will you continue to focus on what is working rather than what is not working in your life? Will you decide to consciously practice gratitude? And even after all these years, I need to remind myself of that sometimes, as I did this week. And I realize I'm making it sound really simple. And you know what? It is simple. It is a simple concept. Be grateful. Be thankful. Look for the good. It is simple. But it is not always easy. Because changing old belief patterns and changing old ways of thinking is not easy. But it can be done because we did it. For just a few minutes this morning, we shifted from concern to gratitude like that. And if we did it here, we can do it all the time. And here's one more technique that I'll give you. I like to kind of give spiritual tools, things that we can practice. If it's hard for you to see the good in your life right now, try to do something really simple, like simply going outside and appreciating nature, just like I did with the sunrise. Interestingly, that same day, I was someplace when a huge, and I mean huge, flock of Canada geese flew by. You know which ones I'm talking about? There must have been hundreds. And I thought to myself, this is a gratitude shot right here. Because I have the eyes to see this. I have the ears to hear that honking. And I have the mind to understand that this is a gift from the universe for me when I am working on gratitude. So is it a small thing, geese going by? Yeah, you know what, yeah. But my mind got exactly what it needed. It got a shot of gratitude. And that's what I want to say, is that it is the little things. I mean, yes, if somebody were to give me $15 million, I would be grateful. Pretty much guaranteed. But I can also build my attitude of gratitude. Little things, consistently and consciously acknowledged. That's what builds our consciousness of gratitude. When I was new to this teaching, almost 30 years ago, I was just learning about metaphysics. And I was really struggling to turn my life around because I was the world's biggest victim. And I was introduced to a prayer. It was written by the late, great Louise Hay. And as you know, her writings have helped thousands. Raise your hand if you've been helped by something by Louise Hay. If you have not, you need to look her stuff up. She has helped thousands of people heal their lives, literally, mine included. Because she understood the power and the importance of gratitude. And for years, I had this prayer that I'm about to share with you. I had it taped to the mirror in my bathroom. And I had it on my phone at work. And I carried it around in my wallet. And I worked with it every single day as a means of shifting my thought process, my belief, my pattern of being a victim to one of living in empowered gratitude most of the time. And I can still use the reminder. So I'm going to offer it to you today. I've made copies of it, and they're out in the back. I made like 60 copies. So if, like, couples, if you could share, that would be great, so we can make sure that everybody has one. So I'm going to invite you. I'm going to put the words up here. And Esteban, can I ask you to come and noodle in the background? I didn't tell you this. That's because I forgot. Nifty hat, dude. So you can either close your eyes and listen to the words, or you can see them up on the screen. Deep at the center of my being, there is an infinite well of gratitude. I now allow this gratitude to fill my heart, my body, my mind, my consciousness, my very being. This gratitude radiates out from me in all directions, touching everything in my world, and returns to me as more to be grateful for. The more gratitude I feel, the more I am aware that the supply is endless. The use of gratitude, it makes me feel good. It is an expression of my inner joy. It is a warm fuzzy in my life. I am grateful for myself and for my body. I am grateful for my ability to see and hear, feel and taste and touch. I am grateful for my home, and I take loving care of it. I am grateful for my family and friends, and I rejoice in their company. I am grateful for my work, and I give it my best at all times. I am grateful for my talents and abilities, and I continually express them in ways that are fulfilling. I am grateful for my income, and I know that I prosper wherever I turn. I am grateful for my past experiences, for I know that they are part of my soul's growth. I am grateful for all of nature, and I am respectful of every living thing. I am grateful for today, and I am grateful for the tomorrows to come. I am grateful for life, now and forevermore. And if you would please open your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and let's say that affirmation together. I am grateful for life, now and forevermore. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you.